Hello everybody and welcome back to the Computer Science of Dentistry channel. In this video, I'm going to try to make it as quick and to the point as I can. Right now, we're in the midst of a global pandemic. Because of that, healthcare providers are facing a lack of certain personal protective equipment, masks and other face shields and goggles and things like that. In response to that and in an effort to try to help, over the weekend, I've developed a small application for your computer for Windows that you can download for free, and I'm going to show you that real quick. It is essentially it's a tool that uses Meshmixer and will allow you to take a 3D scan of a face and then virtually fabricate a 3D printable mask. That you can then take that mask and add different things to it, filters, other things. What I noticed was that there's some good things out there right now, but they're not able to be custom fit to one's face. So this tool allows you to make a mask that will be custom fit to a 3D scan of your face. And then from there, you can also add other attachments and things like that that the other masks that you can see online have as well. So let me just show you how to download this. Like I said, it's free. Go to d3tool.com. Come up to shop. It's on the second page, I believe, here, down at the bottom. Or you can just sort by latest. It should be the first one that pops up. Click on that, $0. Add to cart. Proceed to checkout. Our site does have members and things like that, so if you want, you can register and make an account, but you can skip login for now. No coupon, go next. We do require just a quick information here, just your first name and I think email address and things like that. And then once you're done filling that out, no credit card information or anything, just hit next. And once you do that, you'll be presented with this screen, which will give you a download link for this software. So I'm going to hit that, download MeshMask. And I'm going to download it to my desktop. Actually, I've already done that, as you can see right here. So I'm going to skip this step and just hit cancel, but you would hit save. Once that's done, it's a zip file. So I'm going to right click, and depending on what zip software you have, there will be something you can do here to extract. I'm going to extract it to the desktop. You can see up here, it's the folder it's being made. Bring that right here. Once you double click on that, the application is right here. So it needs to stay in this folder with these two folders kind of all together. So you don't want to drag this on your desktop or anything. Just keep it right here as it is, and we'll double click on that. Right now, because it's such a brand new software, I mean, I literally just made this over the weekend. May give you some false positives on your antivirus software. So it's just trying to be helpful and protective, but it's just really, I just made this like yesterday. So that's why it's saying, hey, it's uncommon. So you're going to go ahead and say, run this program anyway if you get this. I'm going to say always allow this, so run. And we may get one or two more pop-ups like that, and that's ultimately up to you if you want to do that or not. So then you do need Meshmixer installed, and it looks like we don't have it open right now. So it's saying, do you want to open it? Yep, we're going to open that up. Brings up the toolbar on this right side. I already have an existing 3D scan of a face here. There's multiple ways to get a 3D scan of a face. You don't need any expensive equipment or anything like that. You can, and that works just fine. But I would just say look on your app store of whatever phone you have with the keyword 3D space scan. And I bet you'll be able to find something either free or very cheap. You can just use the phone on your camera to generate a scan that will work just fine for this. So basically the software will work with any type of capture, 3D capture that it gets given to it. So we have the scan here of a face. This tool is running on top of everything. I'm going to hit custom face mask. That's the tool. And then I'm going to hit go. Basically, it gives you some directions here. This is the middle part where it gives you directions. Essentially just press next. You don't need to do anything at this point. You could do some alterations if you want with this virtual sculpting tool. It'll bring up a kind of virtual brush that you can maybe kind of smooth some features on the face or something like that if you really wanted to. But for the vast majority of these, just next, next, next is all you need to do. I just left those steps in there just in case for people that may be doing something a bit more advanced or complicated. Who knows? Okay, the next thing is, it says draw the mask border by left click and dragging your mouse around the nose and all the areas here. So I have it set where you can draw directly on the face. Underneath the chin here. And I think the size of this and what it looks like will vary depending on what you're using it for, but you just draw the border around, and once you're happy with that, you can continue on. But another way you can do this, you can go reset outline. So we got the same thing here, but instead of this lasso, I can go brush. Now I got this tool here, and this is actually a little bit easier, I think, for this application. I'm just going to make this brush size a little bit bigger, maybe about 80 in my case, and just left click. Kind of get up to the bridge of the nose there, and a little bit right there. And then I'm going to bring this down size a little bit, and now I'm going to hold Control down and left click, and that will remove some of the selection. So just to kind of tidy things up there. Maybe just give it a little bit more there and there. Okay, that's probably fine for now. It's going to smooth out at the next step. But you can change the thickness of the mask that will be generated. So we're going to do 2.5 millimeters. That's a pretty good thickness for most things. Distance from face, 20 millimeters, I found looks pretty decent. You can do a little bit less, a little bit more, depending on what you think. But you can change that here. It's in millimeters. Then you hit next. Right now it's creating a border around where the mask was selected, and that border is going to be sealed against the face. Everything else, there will be a gap from your face to the edge of the mask, but on the very outside border, this purple border here, that will be sealed all the way around your face there. So there's a lot of text here, you can read that, but again, just press next. Generally speaking, this step is included to, you can left click and kind of add some spots here that you want to be touching the face, that you do not want kind of projecting outwards. You want it flush against your face. If you want a little bit more in some areas, you can just left click those areas and that will be included. But like I said, for the vast majority of these, just hitting next is fine. We're going to hit next. There's one more additional step here that, again, you don't have to worry about, but you can click and add different areas that you want perforations in the hole, or I mean perforations in the mask. But that's kind of beside the point for right now. But there may be some, again, some more complicated or some more advanced uses for this where you may want a hole or perforation at this stage. So you could do that if you want, but again, just next. The outside border stays flush. The inner part gets kind of puffed out a little bit. Does a little bit of some background work here, just some remeshing and smoothing. And it does several checks to make sure that as we go along through the different steps, the object maintains basically its solidity, its manifoldness. So then you can be sure that it will be 3D printable. And I'm not touching anything. This is all just going automatically. Just got to sit here and wait for a second. And the last step here, it does a what's called in Meshmixer a make solid. As far as this program goes, you don't really need to worry about a lot of the other things that you see on the screen here. Basically what I did was I just took an existing program that I had, stripped everything out of it, and added these two new, just brand new tools in. So I just had like a framework that I could use, and it just happens to be what you're looking at right now. But you can kind of ignore all this stuff down here. But they do work. These things do work, but you don't even need to worry about it. So there we have our final mask. As you can see, it's got the seal that goes around where you selected and a little bit of a offset. I can show you what that looks like with the scan as well. And if you're to look at it from this side, you can see that the seal goes all the way around. But before I kind of do a cross section of this, let me show you a couple more things. So now that this is done, you can, let's see, you come up here to the select again, and you can click anywhere you want. We're going to say like right here, and we're going to add a little hook so that when you do 3D print this, there's a way to add an elastic strap or something like that. So you can actually wear this without too much of an issue. And you can just take this and move it around wherever you want. You can spin it, and you can take this and you can shrink it if you want as well. So I'm just going to put one, I think like right here, just for now, and accept. So that's on there. And then same thing, I'm going to hit the select and put another one on this side right there, add hook. Shrink that down a little bit. Doesn't really matter which way you have this oriented because it's got all these different projections on it, so you can really strap anything to it, except. And you may want to add one at the top, one at the bottom. You can do as many as you want. But for now, the next step here, and basically this is the tool. This is it from here. You have your mask, it's flush against the face, and you have your attachments that you can add bands to. But you could do things further from here, and it's kind of expected to do that. And one of the other things, as an example, that I've done is there's something called a NanoHack respiration filter. It's on the internet. If you just want to Google that, NanoHack respiration filter. I tried to do it earlier today. The website's down for whatever reason. I'm not sure. I think maybe it's just getting overloaded. But they have this like copper 3D printing filament. It doesn't really matter. But they made this example mask and different parts on it that you can use to add filters to a mask. So I just kind of stripped those parts out and allowed this program, MeshMask, to add those things to this custom mask. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. So that thing is called the NanoHack respiration filter. You can click here, or you can just go add filter. I'm going to do that. So then it says ensure the custom face mask is loaded in Meshmixer, then press go. So that is our mask. It's loaded. We're going to hit go. set the location of the filter by marking a spot. So I think what I've been hearing is that just one of these doesn't work too well, so you're going to need, I think, two is what I've heard. But I'm going to do one on the one side, just click there, hit next. Kind of punches a hole out and then adds the part here that has part of the filter, then also threads that should be on the outside. This step right here only exists just to make sure that the threads are facing outwards, and that's what it looks like on the inside. But that looks good. Again, 99% of the time, just hit next. But if you do notice that the threads are actually on the inside, you can just take this little thing here and rotate it around to 180 degrees and then adjust that as you need to. Just kind of make sure that the bottom, or on the inside at least, the bottom isn't sticking out too much. Then once you have that, then you can just hit next. But for us, we were good, and we're going to keep it just like that and hit next. Booleans it to the mask. So now we have this threaded connector, and it repairs any little holes or defects. And then also at the end, it imports these two pieces as well that are included that screw into this. So then in between this little honeycomb filter, you could put whatever filter material you want. So this is truly like a universal application here. You could put whatever filter material you want on this side, on that side, screw it together onto this, and you have a custom fit mask with whatever filter material that you need. So we have one on one side, and we could add more hooks again here if we want. Same thing. I'm just going to click this tool again, and we're going to add one more of these. So I'm going to hit go. And then we want to do one more. And let's put it right, I guess, over here. Looks good. Next. Check the threads. Looks good. Next. And if this ever fails here, this step of joining it together, it will always work. All you need to do is just adjust it slightly in its axis in that direction. If you just kind of bring it up a little bit or bring it down a little bit and then try to union them together again, it will always work. But you just kind of maybe have to just mess with it a little bit if you are encountering errors, which you shouldn't that often. So here we go. We got our two filters on. We got the attachments. Let's add one more hook on the bottom. Accept. And there is our mask. Let's bring the face back up again. And there you have it. From here, let's see, you could just export this and it's ready for 3D printing. So you click on that button and you can export it. But what I'm going to do right now is just show you something, the cross section. So you don't have to do any of this. This is strictly just to show you something. So as far as fabricating things go, that's it, you're done. But this is just to show you what it looks like as a cross section. I combine those two things. I'm just going to do a plane cut and bring it up like that. Split it right down the middle. You can kind of see what that looks like. I'm going to hide these. And for each one of these filters you put on, it adds just a set of these things. So there you go. You can see it's flush against the face on the outer border. Looks to be plenty of room for for breathing. I'm not sure, you may need to. I'm gonna 3D print one of these today as soon as I can, to kind of get a feel for what it actually feels like on. But that looks to be plenty of room, and then there's a parameter in there to adjust that if you want. So even if this isn't, you just make that bigger or smaller, and you can make it to whatever you need. So there you have it. This tool's out there. It's free, 100% free. Download, share it with everybody you know or anybody. If you think somebody could use it, tell them about it, please. Show them this video. Show them how to use this. Everybody, let's beat this thing. Let's do everything we can. Let's do our part, and this is hopefully a good contribution, and this is what I got. And if there's anything more I can do, please let me know in the comments in the video, and I will be checking that as regularly as possible. And I can add more things, I can change things, I can help people out, whatever we need. Let's do it together. All right, everybody, have a great day, and let's go.